Sorry for that. So we were talking about Excel, and we need to talk about fundamentals of Excel in a manual way to the advanced way. There are things that we cannot be able to unpack all of them at the same time. There are so many, but that's why we break the modules into several. And in the advanced trainings also, we handle now advanced tools that we'll be able to handle by then. But for now, we'll have to go through what you have first so that you can have the basics that you really need to survive with while handling your work in your offices. Because formulas, understanding the formulas is very key thing that you must just be able to have knowledge on. Because formulas do a lot. For example, if you are talking about data analysis using SQLs and Excel, no, the book itself alone is something like 200 pages or and beyond. So you don't unpack that within a short period of time. That's why we have modular sessions to be able to break them into from basics to higher, and that will be good for you in the future. So as we begin, we move on slowly, then you'll be able to get these concepts better. Because when you're talking about Excel, I know people have never heard about VBA macro programming. And when you're talking about VBA macro programming, you're also talking about Excel in advanced way, whereby now you'll be writing your own formulas in a very high standards and levels. Just to show something is that let me just check for you here. That is Excel, Microsoft Excel. I hope my screen is displaying on your end. So, for instance, you can see when you're talking about Excel, we are talking about Excel for advanced users. We are talking about Excel for experts. We are talking about advanced Excel. Then we are talking about the CFIs Excel. Then you're talking about data analysis using SQL and Excel, because you need also to get some knowledge about databases, how they work. When you're talking about Excel with VBA and macro programming, and you're talking about Excel with advanced training packets. So you're talking about fundamentals and then all these other advanced tools when you're talking about formulas and Tableau and so on. So these are things that you cannot be able to unpack them within a single day. They are large concepts that you need to go slowly by slowly as you grow. And as I see, I'm giving you some basic concepts with the starting point so that at least you know some formulas. How do you do the sum, maximum, minimum, be able to compute some rows, understanding about the cell addresses, and so on before you move to higher levels. So really good back to start from somewhere can mute so that we can have a smooth voice. We have formulas like indexes and mathematics. And when you're using things like or formulas like lookup and VLOOKUPs. So these are advanced levels that might not be able to unpack now. They are in our other modules called advanced data analysis and Excel, uh, which will be launched soon. Just after 1 month, they'll be there in the website. Uh, you should be also be checking our websites because we do update several things in our website. So our website is called DollarEdge. This is the website, and within the website, we are going to be uploading so many new uh, programs that will be launched in various institutions and within online programs too. So within that area, you will be able to get various of these programs. So we have these calculations of index, we have calculations of math types and so on, logical formulas, whereby you'll be using some if else statements because you need to have some knowledge about the logical statements because if you don't have logical statements then you will not be able to unpack a lot of functions that exist in Excel. And Excel is all about formulas. If you understand formulas, then you are a guru in Excel. But if you don't know anything about formulas, then you are a baby in using Excel because formulas unlock potentials. Formulas unlock areas that you don't expect to be able to break. For example, here we are talking about the if statements. We normally use if statements when we have conditions to be met. And there are two options. Either the condition is met to be true or it is false. So if the condition is met, then we say that we return the value which is true. And if the condition is false, then we can be able to return the value false. I don't know, I can hear some noise. Let's try to mute bit so that we can have a I think we are all adults. Let's just try to observe some, some silence. Just muting your mic. It's not a problem. When you want to speak, you'll just be able to speak. I don't have a problem with that. Now, we were talking about Excel formulas. So we have if statements, which takes the logical tests, then you'll have a value that is returned if it is true, and a value which is returned if it is false. And then we have some other conditional values, which sometimes we use using what is called the if else or if else statements if or else if statements, which are more also advanced sections. Now, for example, you have some data for students or some data for to define whether it's a sister or a priest or maybe gender and so on, and you want just to use a formula in Excel to be able to populate that instead of doing those things manually. Number two, maybe you are doing some calculations in finance or maybe for your accounting work and so on. So it's so difficult for you to use your calculator and start using your calculator there, calculating all columns one at a time. You can easily just handle these matters using Excel formulas, and then you get them right. So things like these ones, if a condition is met, return a certain value or make a calculation, or you don't make a calculation. Sorry. So these kind of things, they are very, very important for you. The ifs logical statements. After the if statements, we also have what are called the if logical statements, which you can be able to combine so many formulas to be able to solve a problem. Now, just to shorten our work, I want you also to open your Excel so that we can be able to start something small. And I want you to be able to study with me or go through with me on a certain question. I don't know if you are able to see my screen there. I don't know if I can be able to take a picture of this file and then be able to share with you just now. I forgot to do that earlier. Let me see my scanner. Assume you have a question like this. I don't know if I have a copy in my computer. Let me take a picture and then share with you. In the shortest possible. Okay. As I refuse to take a picture. Just a minute. Done. I can be able to export this for you. Okay. In your WhatsApp group, you can see the question I've attached. Because once you understand those basics, then we can be able to move forward. You can write any bigger formula that you have. So let me see here. The question is here, I have attached for you. That is the question. You can be able to look at it so that you can learn some sections as we move on. I hope my screen is showing or is being displayed on your
Yes.
end. Okay. These are things that we try to look at slowly by slowly. And from there you build a more skillful end that you might not be able to understand. So the question here says clearly, because I want to use the question illustrations to be able to help you understand this, how you are able to get the calculations. Because tomorrow you might be a data analyst somewhere or system analyst for a certain organization, and you need to be able to note this. Save the workbook as plot cells. So this is plot cells. So we can be able to type this very fast. And as you type, you need also to master that art. So, like for the first text, I think we learned about the basics about uh, merging and centering of Excel sheet cells. We also learned about these other areas of insertions, wrapping texts, trying to use these conditional formats and so on, using sorting and filtering. So all these elements needs to be unpacked. Then you have, when you're talking about queries, then we are talking about how do you export data directly from your databases and from CSV files, or from directly from a database that exists, whether they are from Microsoft Azure, cloud spaces, and so on. All these are elements that are within our sections. Then all these formulas also we need to be able to master them and know where we can be able to apply them. All these, but then you need to know about these basics ones like the sum, average. You need to know about if statements, count, hyperlinks, maximum sign, and whatever. All these uh, sum if, and then the standard deviations if you want to calculate the standard deviations, and so on. Then we have these ones here which you can be able to use it to calculate the rate, NPRs, and so on. These ones mostly we use them in project calculations, maybe when you are computing for to define whether the project should be retained or not retained, because it is able to give you the analysis for you to be able to use it to unpack. Now, let's just uh, answer the question that we have at hand, so that we can, at least you can be able to have something. I hope you are typing with me, so that I'm not the only one working. This is your task. This is your task. But I want to make you learn about that task. So, typing Excel sheet sections. With the question that we have, and you have it access in your phone. Like here, we have Leonard real estate land values for the first 4 months. Then this section here is merged and formatted well. Then we have the value of the land each month. Then you have some values here. But there are questions here which uses some sections which are constants. So how are we going to do all this and then be able to answer or to respond to this kind of analytical questions that you have in that area? So these are very, very important concepts that you need to learn. So cell A, we said that for you to deal with Excel, you need to know that this is a formula bar, and then this one here is a name box. And most of the things, then when you're looking at the name box here, it has the name of the cell. So the name of the cell represents the column
Uh,
followed by the row.
excuse me.
Yes?
I don't see what you are showing.
Oh. Is it to all?
I can see.
I can see the question, but now when you were showing the beginning where to show that Excel is where I was not seeing what you were showing now.
Okay. Fine. Now let's have this first. This is the question. Let's interpret the question and have it, because you'll be referring to it. And for me, I'll be busy typing in that Excel section. So we are talking about understanding this. I am sure that my Excel is now displayed. Are you seeing my Excel?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, in this Excel, we have what is called cell references. Cell references means the name of a column followed by the row. If this section here, we can be able to see here under the name box saying it is B2. When you click here, then it shows that it is E7. So for you to master or even to be able to write formulas, you need to know cell references, or else then it will be very difficult for you to master and write formulas. Now, let's start with cell A1 up to H1. They are merged and centered. So let's first of all enter the text that we have there so that we can be able to. Leonard. So it's called Leonard Real estate land values for the month, for the first 4 months. I think that's how the text looks like. Now you see, it's not the way it appears in our question. So that means that this cell A1 to cell A1 to H1, they were merged and centered. So when you bring here merge and center, it means that you are combining and center the contents of the selected cell in a new larger cell. So that is what we are just doing here. So we are just going to cell and then we do here merge and center. So it becomes one. Okay. Now, if you increase the font of this text, let's say you increase the font.
Excuse me.
Yes.
After writing that statement, where did you go?
Okay. Are you seeing this section here? Under home, we are still under
Oh,
home, up here.
okay.
We're
Yes.
talking about merging and centering. And I've explained about this merging and centering. Either you can merge and center and make it across, or you can merge and across, or you can merge at the cells only and unmerging it. So right now, if I unmerge it, then it gets back to normal. So you realize that there's no text here. If I press it somewhere here, you realize when I click here, some cells are not found. So you just have here values for the first 4 months. Where are the other contents? Have they disappeared? But when you click here, you'll be able to see the entire text here. So what does it mean? That a cell address contains all the texts. And if you have this, then within the formula tab is where you can be able to see the entire text that you have entered inside a cell address. Now, we are saying that as per the question that you have, because you have access to it, so when you open it, you realize that from cell H1, A1 to H1, they are merged and centered. So you select A1, then move your cursor up to H1. And then you can come here, then select merge and center so that it becomes one cell, that area. Then we have another text down here, which is called value of the land. Value of the land. Value of the land each month. So we need to be able to type faster. So value of the land here. we need also to center this. So you will realize that you are not merging and centering this row 1 and row 2. No, you are doing this within the cell, within that one row. So again, from A2 to H2, because this is H2 here, and this one here is A2. So we want to merge these cells here. So we can select it up to here, then we can say merge and centered, so that that one also gets into the center. But remember, this 4 months is moving to a new line from here. First 4 months. 4 months is moving to the new line. So how are you going to ensure that? We use what is called Alt and Enter, and I talked about it last time. Alt plus Enter buttons. So when you press this, it means that you are going to move the text downwards, but within the same cell. So double click your cell inside, enter here, then put the cursor immediately at the beginning of 4 months. Then press Alt and then press Enter together like that. And then you realize that now this text now moves down from this line to below it. But now you realize that the text is not showing. So what do? It means that you need to increase what is called you need to format this to increase the cell. So if you say auto fit here, or you need to expand this, so you bring the cursor here and then drag it downwards so that you can be able to increase the size of that cell downwards. So that's now when you now have the text showing all of them. Now the next item is now understanding now our header sections. So these are header sections. Plot number, press the tab key, say area, press the tab key, say January, press the tab key, say Feb, press the tab key, say March, press the tab key, say April, press the tab key, say status, press the tab key, then say remarks. So we have finished typing this. So we need to format this section here. You can format it like that, put it here. You can even change the text direction of this text to face a certain angle like that. Can be able to give it around 60 degrees. I can be able to say this, so you see this is how it will behave and so on. But then I don't want it. Let me just return it to normal. So you just come back here, just make it to 0, then just say okay. So our cells here is okay. So this is called a workbook. This is called a workbook. And when dealing with workbooks, then you need to be able to know how to work with worksheets. A worksheet is a single page that interacts with the user, that is made up of cells, of rows and columns. So that's a worksheet. While a workbook contains several worksheets. So we need to save this work inside our computer. So I'll be able just to save it here under tasks. And I'll say here task 2. Sorry. It should be task 3. So I'm saving that Excel there. Then we move here. What are the plot numbers? Let's write it. Let's write them the way they are. 934, so that we can go faster. 164, 5, that is 563. Then we have 125, 678. You have 874, then 456. Then you have 978, 345. And then you have that's 863, 344. 344. So if you are typing, then we need to be able to move. So because we have typed the first one, it can easily pick it. So you just say enter, enter, enter. When this one enter, then MB, then you have real, and then MB. Below here, we have what is called total value. Then after that, we have down here called appreciation. Appreciation. Alt enter rate. So this rate here, they are saying it is 3%. So enter there 3%. Now in January, they are saying it is 400,000. The next value is 300,000. Next value is 350,000. Next one is 600,000. Next one is 890,000. And lastly, we have 700,000. 700,000. So that's the data that we have. When it comes to status, they say it is S. Sorry, it is S. Then we have NS, S, S, NS, and then S. So that is the figures that we have. So we need to border this section. So select this up to here. You can come back here, say all borders.
Just wait for a moment.
Then you,
Just wait for a moment.
yes.
Just wait for 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah. That we can just finish the figures.
All right. So bordering features and so on, they are always there available. You just need how to find them and where to find them, as well as do this. Even format the cell here. Then you go to borders. Then you can pick what you want, any bordering style you need, like that. So this is just a sample data to represent the bigger values of data that you might be interacting with in the ground. So you always don't need to have that large data. You just need a small piece of data, and then you can be able to know what is your level of uh, doing the calculations or displaying the formulas and solving the problems with that. So you can as well as select the entire of this and then make it times New Roman, like that. So that if this one is too big, Can be able to reduce it a bit. So we said for you to ensure that all these things here fit within the same section. You highlight all and then you bring the cursor in between, anywhere there. Then you just double click and it can fit. All the cells will fit into their boxes well without any issue. Without any issue. You see, like that one.
Excuse me, Prof.
Yes.
As we wait for them to finish typing, there's this topic that where we have the Leonard real estate land values for the first 4 months. Now, to make it to be in the same cell, now to as you told us to alt to click, you alter and you enter something. I'm not getting how we do it. Can you come up again kindly in this one, in the first cell?
This one here.
Kindly. Yes,
You
yes,
may unwrap it so that it looks like this.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I said you bring your cursor, double click inside
Mm-hmm.
here. Then
Okay,
bring your
okay.
cursor at the beginning of 4 months, because that is which text is moved down. It is from 4 months, right? So
Yeah.
you put your cursor at the beginning of 4 and then you press
Okay.
Alt. One finger should be pressing Alt, ALT,
Mm-hmm.
and the other finger will be pressing Enter. So you don't
Okay.
release the Alt. Continue pressing Alt, then you press Enter, and then it will
Okay.
move it downwards.
Thank you.
Welcome. So I hope people have finished typing. Is it true or we are not even typing? I remember the other
No,
day somebody was sleeping and snoring so seriously. So to avoid
but I've,
sleeping, you type.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've not bothered my work.
So you have to border it. I said you just highlight that section and then you can come here and then say all borders and tick outside. Or you can click here more borders and then come here, select. This piece is smaller to the inside. This one is thicker to be outside. Then you come here and say okay. Or you can highlight this section here, right click, click format cell, then you come here and then you find it. So those are 3 ways you can use to do the bordering of your work.
Excuse me, Prof.
Yes.
This is about fitting the data into their specific cell. You've said that once we double click on top, all the data will fit to their own cell, or we have to click each column.
For instance, right now, I have this data squeezed like this, and I want to expand this. I can just put my cursor up here so that you see the arrow pointing downwards, like this. Then I'll highlight all these cells, these columns, and then I bring the cursor here. Anywhere, whether it is here, whether it is here, as long as I see this cross,
Mm,
then I can be able to drag it a little bit,
mm,
or I can double click and then it can
mm,
fit. So
mm,
that you don't have to do one by one. You can do it once
mm.
and then it does.
Thank you.
Now I believe we are done with that. Can we be able to move forward?
Yes.
Okay. Now, renaming sheets. We said for you to rename this sheet, you double click it and then you can type, or you can right click. You can just click it there, right click, then you can come to this rename. Yeah. If you want to insert another sheet, you can click insert. If you want to delete, you can click delete. If you want to hide, you can hide it here. If you want to protect, you can click protect and then you put your password or PIN so that nobody unlocks it. But this one, you can use it to create a copy of the other, a duplicate, or move this sheet one to another sheet without having a backup somewhere. So we want to rename it, so you can click here. And now it's so that you can answer the question in B Roman 1, rename sheet 1 to plot values. So say here, plot values. So we can use either capital letters or lower plot values, like that. So that's how you rename a sheet, a working sheet. So it's not about answering this question, but it's about learning how to rename worksheets. So if you have maybe the payroll for January, you can rename here January. You can add another one here and call it February. You can add another one here by clicking this plus. So you can add another new sheet. So I'm going just to delete this that I have added. Then
Eh,
it disappear.
Doctor,
Yes.
where do I find the rename? Sorry for that.
Okay. I have said either that you double click here or you click this sheet where it's written sheet 1 and then
Okay.
right click it.
Yes.
Then you'll be able to see here rename.
Yes. I'm okay.
Have you finished?
Yes.
Now, the other question says copy and paste the content of sheet 1 to sheet 2 and rename it to plot months. That is what the question says here. So the question is not asking you to do it just for the sake of doing it, but the question is testing whether you can be able to create a copy of the data that you have. Because mostly we say, do not tamper with original data. Create a duplicate of the original data for you now to do the analysis or whatever thing you want to do with it. But do not tamper with the original data. For instance, you've gone to the field work and you've obtained some data. Then you come and then that is the same data you want to deal with and use it to solve your problems. And now you are putting there the wrong formulas, whatever. You'll distort your data. And yet it is costly to obtain the data from the ground. So that's why we always say create a copy of the original data so that you maintain the original data, then work on your copy of the original data. So how do we create a copy of this sheet? I said you just do right clicking of that sheet. You go to move or copy, click it, And then we are still in a workbook called task 3. So just go to move to the end and then ensure that you click create a copy because you are creating a copy. But if you are moving it permanently without creating a copy, then you don't need to click here. But we want to create a copy so that we maintain the other copy. So you click here, create a copy. Then you click OK. So it's going to create here a copy of the original copy data. So this is a copy of the original data. Now we come to the copy and then rename it. The copy and then rename it the way they have said. Rename it as what? Plot. Name it as plot months. Like that. We have a copy of that. I hope we are all here now. Hello. I hope so.
Yes, we are.
Now let's go to the next question. So that's how you create a copy of the original copy. And you realize that now this data here is the same as the data here. So it's a duplicate.
That I have not moved. I copied that copy. I have renamed but not moving the data. Let me do it.
That you have not moved the data. How is it possible? Or what are you saying? Sister, when you right click here and then
Oh,
create a copy of
okay.
this, it goes with the data. It doesn't go blank.
I've not seen that create. I have a move or a copy. Maybe I have not got you rightly. Mine is not showing create, but it's move or copy.
Sister,
Yes, Prof.
see my screen well. Are we there?
Yes,
Aye. So I'm right clicking plot value.
yes.
Have you seen that?
I've done it.
Then what do you see?
I see
Move
rename,
or copy,
move or copy.
right?
Uh-huh.
So click that move or copy.
Okay.
What do you get?
The dialog has opened.
Yes.
It's create a copy. Okay, Prof.
Is it the one that I'm showing?
Yes, I think I've seen now.
Is that what you have seen?
Yes.
Now you click here, move to the
I
end. You
I
first of all see what I'm saying, what I'm doing. So click move to the end, then check this box down here that says create a copy.
data copy.
Have you seen it?
Okay. Yes, Prof.
Now you can now click OK.
Okay. Thank you. Now I've done it.
Now, do you have the data the same?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now let's go to the next question.
Prof,
Yes,
sorry. Why do I have an empty sheet before the one I have copied?
you have the empty sheet.
Yes, I have plot month and then the copied plot value.
You are the one who created it. Can you right click that empty sheet like this and then delete it?
Okay.
Has it disappeared?
Delete sheet left, delete sheet right. It's up.
What,
What do I say?
what are you saying? You are saying you have a blank sheet in between.
Yes, yes.
Is that what you have said?
Yes, yes, Prof.
So you right click that sheet, I've said that way, and then say delete.
Okay. Mine is coming delete sheet cell or what entire. Let me do it again. Okay, I've done it now.
Hey, now
Thank
it
you.
has worked
Yes.
without asking you that nonsense question or shifting right, left, you know?
Oh, Prof, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let's look at the next question. So that's how you can be able to, for instance, you have a new sheet here, the way you are saying, like this. You have this 4 here. And when I drag it, you see I'm dragging it. Then you see an arrow here, black. So if I put it there, then it means that now the plot months and plot values are here. Then I have a blank sheet here. So what do I do with this blank sheet? I just right click it and then I say delete. All right?
Thank you, Prof.
Yes. Now, in your plot months here, let us now do some modifications based on the questions that now you have. These questions now guide you on how to use certain other additional functions of Excel. So that next time, if you are asked to use any other function, then you are able to know. The question C, sister, it says the value of land appreciates by 3% monthly. Use this information to answer the questions that follow. Now, this question here does not say that it is only in this question that the land appreciated with 3%. You might be dealing with some data, and then within those figures, the figures were appreciating or increasing with a certain flat rate value. So how did you treat that data? For instance, I want to do or to get a projection of how students have been performing from 2016 to 2025. So that now I can be able now to find the analysis. Like for example, you always find the teachers in high schools always producing the final analysis of their exam results, and they are displaying there how many A's, what was the increased number against the previous year, and now they are telling you this is the mean score and so on. How do you generate that? You need to write what are called the if statements. So here they are saying that the land appreciates by 3%. But there is a projection here from February to March to April. What was the increase? Mathematically writing, we always say that if the value is increasing by, first of all, the original value is always 100%. Now you've been told that it increased by 3%. What will be the new value? It will be 103%. Am I mathematically correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so mathematicians are inside here. I'm also a very tough mathematician. I think I did mathematics for so many years. Now, if that is the increase, that means assume you don't want to do the increase by this 3%. How else will I be able to write this formula? I'll be able to write this formula in a manner that it will be 3% of the original value everything, then I add the original value. Am I speaking good English here? That 103 is obtained by getting the original value, which was 100, get 3% of the original value, then add the original value, will give you the 103%. Assume the price of the cloth was 200. It increased by 50. What is the new value? The new value will be, the new value here will be the addition, because it is going to be equals to 200 plus the 50. Then you do the sum. That's what will give you the 250. Are we speaking the same language?
Yeah. So
Yes.
see, we need to go back to our formula then. 3% of the original value.
Yes, plus the original value,
Okay.
right?
So
What is 50 of this? We can be able to do that. We can just say, what is this? We can just say this
Sure.
over this, everything multiplied by 100. It will give us the percentage, right? So that is true. So once we do this, it is 25%, right?
yeah.
25% increase gave us 250. So this one, it is the original, it's the increased value, or the increased value over the original value multiplied by 100. That gives us the percentage. Assume that now here they said that the value increased by 25%. Then if they say that the value increased by 25%, what is the new value? Here the new value will be equivalent to 125% of our original value, right? When you do the percentage, it gives us 250, right?
Yes.
Mathematics.
Yes.
So it is understood well,
Yes.
because here we are getting, what if we do this way, that now I don't want to write this as 125%. What will I do? I will do 25% of the original value, which is 200. It will give me how much? 50 bob. So this value, 25% of the original value, which is 200, plus the original value. Are we getting that? So 25% of the original value plus the original value. What will it give us? It's 250. Right?
Yes.
So it is just the same as having our 125% here increase. So that's what I've written here. 3% of the original value inside the brackets plus the original value will give us 103%. So this
Will
value
give us
here,
the value,
yes,
Prof.
yes,
Will give us the value equivalent to 103%.
not equivalent. It will give us exactly 103%. Here, there is no
Yes.
approximation.
Yes.
If you take 3% of the original value, then add, after doing the 3% of it, add the
Yeah.
original value. It will give you 103%.
Okay.
That's what we have done here. That get 25% of the original value, which was 200.
Yes.
Then add original value, which is 200, will give us 120. Will give us 250,
250.
which is the same as here doing 125% of, which is multiplication of the original value, which is 200. Even if I remove this cell here and I just do it manually times the 200 shillings, then it gives
We'll
us
get
250.
50.
Yes, which is the same as this one here. That
What about
25%, 25% of 200 plus the original value, which was 200, which gives us 250.
250.
Yes. So this formula here is the same as this one here, computing 125 directly times the original value, and then you get the answer. But remember this, when you are using Excels, we expect to see the references, not the values. So you reference this. Where is 200? It is this value here, I6. It is column I, row what? Row 6. That's why we say here 25% of I6, then plus I6. When we say I6, we mean get the value that is in this cell and add for us. Get the value that is in this area and multiply by 25% so that you don't write there manually like a village person. So you leave there the formulas to be working. Now,
my
yes, you have a question.
no, I used the formula when clicking it disappeared, did not give me the answer.
I know what you have done. You have not started with the equal sign. Every formula must start with equal sign. You don't write a formula without the equal sign. Now, this is just a sample calculation or explanation of what we are going to do here. So you've been told here that the value of the land appreciates by 3% monthly. Use this information to answer the question that follow. Using cell addresses only. They have not said use the value 3%. They have said use the cell address.
Hey.
Determine the value of each plot for February, March, and April. So what will be the new value of February if the land was appreciating by 3%? So how are we going to compute here? We have said the next increase value is 3% of the original value, which is in January, then add the value that is in January. Then you will get the new value here. In short, we are just saying calculate 103% of the original value, which was from January. So it increased. Then when we do this, we get 412,000, right? So it increased by that. But are we going to accept this? This is not a cell reference. So we need to get that. This one is a cell reference, correct. But this one is not. So for us to use this 3%, the 3% is here. So we need to use this cell. So this means that we are going to do equals to, then we are going to do the 3% of the original value in January. Everything, enclose them inside the brackets. Then we add the original value, which was in January. That is what I have explained here. Take the 3% of the original value, add the original value. Now, this cell here, it contains a constant value that is not supposed to change. So if the value is not changing, or if a cell is not supposed to be changing, then what is recommended is you lock that cell. You lock both the column and the row. So how do you lock them? You use what is called the dollar signs at the beginning of the column and at the beginning of the row. So what do we do? You simply press function 4 and then it writes it like that.
I beg your pardon, Prof. There.
We are saying
Yes.
when you are computing values using the cell addresses and the value is kept constant, it is not changing. For example, the tax rate. For example, commission. For example, discount. And here, appreciation value. This 3%, when you are moving across the cells, is not supposed to be changing, So you need to lock it. For you to lock it, you have to lock the row, the column B, and then lock the what? The row. So we lock the column and lock the row so that this value does not change. It has to be kept to be 3%. It should not increase to go to 4%, 5%, or any other. So for you to lock that, you need to press function 4 and then it will be able to lock it. If you are using a laptop, then you need to know the function of the button called Fn. So right now, if we do this, you will find the answer becomes 412,000. The way we found with 103% of the original value. Now, there are things here. If you are using your laptop, then you can check for you to press function 4, which is F4. We simply mean F4. You have F4. If you are using a laptop, then you need to press these buttons. Fn plus,
We are
then
not seeing. Me, I'm not seeing.
people are not seeing my screen.
Yeah, we are not seeing. No.
Fn.
Yes, people are seeing my screen. Sister, your internet is a problem.
Prof
Yeah.
is 10 of 15%.
Fn, then you can press now F4. The way it appears on top there. If you are using a laptop, you press this button. It is nearer the Windows button or control. From control, you find Fn. Have you seen those buttons?
Yes.
Yes, you can press those two, and then you can be able to find that value that we are saying. Hello? Yeah. Okay. So that is how you can be able to, you press those two, Fn, then you can now press the F4. Then it will bring this, it will play the role of function 4. So what I expect you to have is this cell being locked like this. So have you seen these results? C4 is the original value, which is for 400,000. It is the one, so this is 3% of the 400,000, then plus the 400,000 for it to give us
Excuse
the
me,
answer. Yes.
Prof. May I take you back to locking? I forgot about how to lock the, the cell.
I'll just delete this again and write it again. Let me increase here this font and make it bold. Now we are writing here the formula equals to. So we are writing here the formula equals to. So we are saying you are getting 3% by clicking here. This 3% off. Now for you to lock this B12, I've said immediately when you are here, press, if you are using the laptop, press Fn plus F4.
Okay.
But if you are using a desktop or this other keyboard that doesn't have two elements on top, then you have just to press F4. Sawa. So just press Fn and then number 4. So it will lock that cell like this. Have you seen this? Has it changed like this?
No.
Not yet.
No, just tell me.
Yes, Fn.
The F4, where is F4?
Fn and F4, where are they?
Which?
F, F, Fn. Fn is the function key on the keyboard. Fn.
Okay, let
Down,
me do
down
this.
there.
Let me do this. These Kenyans, they'll make me laugh here. Now, let me use on screen keyboard. Maybe I'll be able to sort out the problem. Let me remove this here. And now, let me say keyboard. Like here.
Mine is not working.
Relax. So let me start this keyboard here. So you are seeing this keyboard here. That is, for example, that's how your keyboard looks like. So this keyboard behaves like this. Why?
Mm.
You see, this area here, if you have two elements, now on top there you also have what are called functions. You see this?
Yes.
Function 1, function 2. So if you have two elements like this, it means that you always press shift and then that element. Fine?
Yes.
But now look at your keyboard well. If in the column of functions is where you have other elements like increasing the brightness, the
Yes.
volume,
Mm.
Yes.
If they are combined like that with your function buttons, then you don't need to press shift. You press Fn, function key. Then it will activate your function 4. That's why I'm saying you press this Fn and F4, because F4 is written as a small one, like this hash on top there. So it's written F4 there, very small, tiny, on a laptop. So for you to activate it, you have to press this Fn for it to be there. Then you click it. So you press the two, Fn, one finger. When the one finger has pressed here, Fn, the other finger you press F4. F4 is there on increase the light, bright light, right? Yes. So you press the two, then it will give the function 4 function. So for example, now here we are saying you do equals to, then you pressed this area here. So for us to lock this, we can press F and then 4. So it has locked. You see that?
Got it. Thank you.
So it has worked.
Yes.
Then you
Hold on.
multiply.
Just a minute. I'm not good. It's not coming.
It depends with your keyboard. Can you check your keyboard first? How does it behave? Is it like ours? If yours is written F4 and there's no any other small element inside there, then just press F4.
Okay, it has come.
Yes. So your keyboard is like that one of a desktop. But for a laptop, the smaller ones, they always have them hidden with function F. That's what I said here. If you are using the keyboard that looks like this one, then press that one. But if you are using the one that is like a laptop, the smaller one, then you have to press the Fn, then F4 button. So are we together up to there now? Press that.
Yeah.
Then you can lock that screen or that cell like that. Then you can now press shift and then tab. That multiply by the original value. Then close it and then add. So add. So I press here and then that. Add the original value. So it's just the same as saying take 3% of 400,000, then add 400,000. It will give you the additional, because what is the 3% of 400,000? It is 12,000, right? So 12,000 plus 400,000 will give you the increase because it appreciated by 12,000 from the original value, which is 400,000. So the new value will be appreciation plus the original value. That's why we are adding here. This one will give you the appreciation value plus the original value to give you the new value. Have you understood that?
Yes.
We can now move. Now press enter. Now somebody will say, now mine is showing hash, hash, hash. It's not showing me anything.
You need to increase that.
When it shows a hash, hash, it means that the text inside is not fitting that cell. You need to expand the width
Yes.
of the cell. You need to expand the width of the cell. So you can just double click on top here. And then it does. or do it manually like a village person, that you want to long press here and then drag like that, instead of just clicking here and double clicking, and it fits. Now, somebody else, there is now what is called autofill feature. Autofill feature. So once you have done this formula is not going to change because it will now use projection and regressional projection analysis to apply the same change to the next cell. So what will be changing? It will be changing with these values. This one will change from C4 to E4. This one will also to D4, sorry, to D4. This one will also change to D4 because you are moving to the next cell. But this one, because it is constant, it's not going to change anything. So for us to do the autofilling, so that now we can use this autofill feature here. Now, for you to use the autofill feature, you should not use this bigger plus. You need to bring it to the corner here, at the corner here, until you see the plus arrow changes to a dark arrow. It means that now it is autofilling. Now you can autofill to the next up to April, then expand the cells, and then autofill it downwards so that I can do the calculations there once and for all. I don't need to type formulas all the time. So we have done the calculations for that area, all of it. When you click here, you'll see the value is not changing. It's still constant, while these ones are changing. Why? Because these ones, I have allowed them to pick the new values where they are. So it's going to take this one here. This is C5, add C5. So when I move to the next cell here, it will be taking the value that is inside here as D5 plus D5. And then you get the value. So I can now be able now to finish with this. Reduce it now, like that, to 12. And then this value here has got decimal values.
May I
Right.
request you to go back, please, on autofilling,
I'll come back. They are
please?
saying I go back here. So I have gone back. Going back again. So I'm saying you have done the formula here. You need
Yes.
to autofill it. So what do? Click the cell here and then bring your cursor at the bottom corner until it becomes dark like this. Have you seen that black?
Yes.
So once you are seeing the black, it means that now the autofill feature is active. You see, when I remove the cursor from there, it becomes white. But when I bring it here, it becomes dark and arrow. So what do? Just double click it or drag it downwards. So you see, I have done that. Now if I want to do to all these other areas, I just bring it here again. I autofill towards the right, and then I pull it downwards so that it can do for all of this. Then these cells here are smaller. I'll expand them like that. Then this cell here, I want this value to be rounded up to one decimal value. Mathematicians know the issue about rounding up, and so doing what? I can still use the formula here by saying I want to round up these values. So I can say this equals to round up or round. I can say round up. I can say here round up. Open the bracket. Then I'll say this number to what value by 1 decimal point. Then I press enter. You see it will give us how much? If I round up this value, 8 is greater than 0.5. So it's 0.8, which is nearer to 1. So it will be 1. So it will change this one to, it will round this up to 91. That's why we have 437,091. So I can do this to all the others. And it rounds them up. So that is rounding up. If you want to round it down, you can use a formula called round down. Here, round down. To how many values? To one significant digit. Then I do that. You see it will retain it as 43, 70, 90. Then I can autofill all of them. If you round down, it will be 36. It will not be 30. So you see it is 36. This one round down, it will be 0.8. It will not increase. Then if I say round up or round, just round, so that it is just rounding up to the nearest 1 decimal value, then it will also be able to increase it by 1 value because it will round up correctly. So that is rounding up. So instead of me doing that, you can just come here. If you don't want to use formulas to round down, round up, and so on, you can just select the cell here and then use this one here. Decrease the decimal values. Then it will round up the values immediately. Now, next thing is format this content here into 1,000 separators. You just click here and then reduce the number of decimal points. You are done. So you don't have to be typing like that 412,000. Just give it 1,000 separators, or you click here, then you go to numbers, then you say use 1,000 separators. Decimal number to be 0, then click OK. Still it will give you the same answer for all these areas. So that is the trick you have when using Excel formulas. So you see, once I just write here a formula once, then I can do it very fast. And then we move very fast and you are done with that. Now, having done that, they are saying here, calculate the total value when it comes to Roman 2 using a function and cell addresses only. Calculate the total value of the plots for each month. How do you calculate the total values here? Total values means you are going to get the sum. So you can use the formula sum to do your maths here. I know you have ever been able to use the sum formula. Am I right? You can click here equals to sum. Enter. Then select from this cell to this cell. So it is C4 colon C9. Enter. Then it has done for you the sum here. So you can expand here. This is the sum. That is one way. The second way you can do the sum here is this. You can click here and then click Alt, press Alt plus the button next to backspace. Which button is that? It is the plus and equal, right?
Yes.
You press these two buttons, Alt and this button. It will be able to do for you the sum very fast. You see? It will be able to do for you that very fast.
Ah, mine did not give me the correct one.
No, it will give you, let me do it. Alt plus that. So we are doing here. So you say Alt plus the plus and equal sign. You see it has selected all the sections once. C4 to C9. Press enter. It has given you the correct answer still. Or you can as well as do the third method. Click here and then click up here. Auto sum, then click sum. And then you see here, it has done for you. Oh, sorry. Let me just delete this part here. Let me delete this. So we are saying click here, and then click here, and then here. Auto sum. Then you see it has also done for you. Then you enter. So you can now use autofill feature here to long press this way up to here, so that you complete that calculation. You don't need to write the formulas everywhere. Just use autofill, and then it has finished that just by a press of a button. The next thing here, they are saying, look at the next question. At the end of 4 months, the plot status is either S for sold or NS for not sold. Using an if function, determine the remarks for each plot. You are the teacher. You are marking someone's work. You are supposed to write there good, very good, average, and whatever. Do you want to type there a cell by cell? It's sasa unaanza sold, then not sold. You are very busy. You are now telling your boss, I'm very busy. You know, I have a lot of work. Just to key in the remarks. So you want to spend the whole night doing that, instead of using a formula to do this work within minutes, and you are done. Within a second, not even minutes. So they are saying if it is S, the answer here should be sold. If it is NS, if the status is NS, the answer here should be not sold. So what does it mean? You write what is called an if function. Let me add here, make it bold, and increase the font size. So we are going to write here a formula. So we are saying if equals to, if, then and open the brackets. Let us put the logical test. Logical test. What is the logical test? The test is if the status in this cell is equal to what? That if the status here is equal to the text S, what is the result? What is the value if the test here, if the status here is S? They have said if it is S, the answer is sold. And if it is not S, what is the answer value if it is false? Then we say, they have said if it is not S, then it is not sold. So I'll open the brackets here, then say not sold. And then I press that and close my formula. So this is the if-else statement. That please check if within the status G4, if the text inside here is equal to S, then the answer should be sold. And if it is not S, then it is NS, which stands for not sold. So I'll just do that, enter. So you see it gives me the answer. Then when I autofill downwards, it gives me all the answers correctly. Where it finds it's not S, it will give not sold. Like NS is not sold. NS is not sold. S is sold. So that is the formula. If the value is S, it is sold. Else, it is not sold. So those are conditions. So you can do this to compute even the student marks. Like you might find some values, especially when you are dealing with data sets that you have been given in statistical form, that the values from 0 to 40 is how much failed. Then from 45 to 50 is maybe average. So you can use the if function to do that and you get the results. Now I would wish to end there with today's session. So you've learned about the if functions or the formulas. You've also learned how to use the autofill feature. And you've also learned how to use cell references to do the calculations and the formulas sum, the formulas that have sections that don't change or locking some of the cells that are kept constant. So you've learned how to merge and unmerge a cell, how to use the Alt Enter to be able to adjust the cell and fit it inside the cell, and bordering and so on. So you've learned all that. So even if you are given which data, you'll always be able to answer that, or you apply those formulas or those functions to be able to do that. Are we together up to there? So that now the next session, we shall do that analysis with the chart that they want. But you now know how to insert a chart because you did it last time. You can now complete with the last. So that is your assignment. Do the last E, question E, and then you'll be able to present before we kickstart tomorrow, so that we can be able to see if you are able to analyze the data using charts. With those more remarks that I have spoken, I would wish to end my session there, unless somebody has a question. And I request one person to say a word of prayer to us.
Today, as we've come to the end of our lesson for today, we ask you, Lord, to send us your Holy Spirit and your holy angels to guide us throughout the night and grant us a beautiful morning tomorrow so that we may continue with the rest of our daily activities. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.